looked like it hurt. Really, Mahomes? Did you really have to throw an interception and take out Rashee Rice at the same time? I know you're the greatest of all time, but you ain't got to pretend that you play defense and offense. All kidding aside, that shit looked like it hurt. That's a horrible injury, devastating to the team, and just the excitement of what we were about to see with this team. I mean, Hollywood Brown first, then Pac, and now Rashee Rice. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into how the Chiefs are going to survive this. Travis Kelce being the focal point of the offense moving forward. Xavier Worthy going to be that guy, and how the Chiefs are playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Hit the music.
Murder, 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 most foul.
Welcome to Most Foul TV. This is Most Foul TV with your host, Dante Pena.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Most Foul TV. I'm your host, Don Pena, and this is Most Foul Chief. All right, we're going to get right into it, guys. We all seen it. We all know by now. It was a horrible injury. Rashee Rice is most likely done for the season. It is Monday night. We haven't heard the official news yet, but a lot of the belief is that Rashee Rice is going to be out for the remainder of the season, probably up to a year if it is that MCL or ACL tear or an ACL injury. We don't have any information as of yet. I believe he was going to go in to check today. So, let me check Google right now real quick. Let me just get a quick update, and let's see if there is any. I haven't seen anything all day. I haven't seen anything reported about it, so I doubt it. But who knows? So let me take a quick look and I'll get right back. Okay, yeah, so no official report that has confirmed whether or not it is an ACL tear or not. The latest report I just saw on CBS or by CBS.com was that Andy Reid made a statement earlier today in the press conference, something along the lines of the team fears it's an ACL injury, but he has to undergo some more tests and before anything is official. So they haven't officially said that yet. So there's a little bit of hope. There's still a little bit of hope that it's not an MCL tear or an ACL tear. I keep saying ACL, right? An ACL tear. But we'll see. But most likely, I mean, we all saw the injury. That's usually how those things happen. Hyperextension of the knee. Horrible, horrible injury, and also uncalled for. I mean, unnecessary. Not on his end. He made a great play on the ball, but the situation should have never happened. Okay, let's get right into that, and then I'll touch on some of the other stuff. Let's get right into that. Fact of the matter is, Mahomes threw a horrible pick. That was a horrible interception. It was stupid. It should not have happened. And the worst part about that is because of that interception, Mahomes, being the competitor that he is, tries to make a play on the ball, tries to tackle the guy to save like a pick six and allow the defense to get back on the field and potentially get the ball back. And unfortunately for all of us and Rashee Rice, he himself is also a great competitor, not willing to give up on a play, made a play on the ball, actually stripped it, out of the defender's hand to cause a fumble. We unfortunately didn't get the ball back, but it was a great play. And unfortunately, while he's hitting the ball out of the player's hands, Mahomes at the same time is coming in to tackle the defender, collides with both of them, so all three of them collide. And unfortunately, Rashee Rice's knee slams into the back of Patrick, and we now see the result. He's out. So it's just devastating. And so I'm not gonna just throw Mahomes on the bus it's all your fucking fault. I mean, it's a collision sport. Those things happen, right? And I'm under the belief whenever a player has an ACL tear, regardless of how it happened. To me, it's almost like one of those deals where it was weak and it was going to happen anyway. So if it didn't happen on that play, it could have happened 2 plays later, a game later. Like, again, it was a horrible way to get hit. But we've seen hard hits too, and that doesn't always happen. So again, that is definitely the way to go, though, if you're going to get that kind of injury. But with that said, I'm not putting this all on Mahomes just for throwing that interception. This is what happens when you're the Chiefs. Basically, when you're I was trying to save this segment for later, but you know what? I'm going to say it now. The Chiefs are playing chess when the rest of the league is playing checkers. And let me explain that. Everyone's like, what do you mean they're barely winning and they're barely getting by? Exactly my point. The Chiefs have the firepower, or at least had the firepower going into this season to absolutely destroy teams and put games away and put up high scoring points. Here's why they didn't. As everyone's talking about, Kelsey's numbers and all the bullshit. And quick side note: if you're seeing this, depending on when you're watching this episode, last week's episode, week 2, you may be watching this before week 2 if I haven't uploaded that. I had some snags in the editing process, so I'm probably going to upload this video. You're going to see week 3 before you see episode 3 before you see episode 2. Now, if you watch all this stuff late, I guess it won't matter. But if you've seen last week's episode in week 2, I talk about the Kelsey situation, why he's not getting the ball, or why his numbers are down and all that, why it's by design. And I will go over that again. I'll quickly cover that. The fact of the matter is, like I was saying, the Chiefs have had the firepower going into this season to absolutely dominate teams, both on offense and defense. If they would have stuck to, we're just going to annihilate teams and roll this season, get our three-peat, and it's a lock. And in order to do that, the offense would go through Travis Kelce, as it always has, as the number one target. Most of the play designs on offense, the routes, the concepts, it's get the ball to Kelce. That's how it's been over the years. It was like that last year. The only reason why it didn't work was because we had no other motherfuckers to pick up the slack other than Rashee Rice in the second half of the season when he started to pick up the offense as a rookie. Everyone else was dropping fucking balls and shit, so all they had to do was double and triple Kelce, and they had no help till late in the season when Rashee emerged, right? Excuse me. Let me get my water here. So, that's how our offense is always operated. Through Travis Kelce. We could have went that route again this year. The offense runs through Travis Kelce. He's dictating the routes and the concepts of the offense. And Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown would have been second fiddle. Same with Watson, Pacheco, obviously all of them, Carson Steele now. They all would have played second fiddle, and his numbers would be up, we'd be winning, and it'd be great. It'd be like everything. Well, then why the fuck didn't they do that, Don? That's easy. Why go through the struggles? Because they are not just thinking about this season. And that is my point about how the Chiefs are playing chess while the rest of the league is playing checkers. Because the Chiefs, Andy Reid, and Brett Veach are smart enough to not just understand and realize that we're playing for just this season. We know we got the horses and the firepower to win this season. They have that confidence. Some may call it arrogance. But they also know that it's not going to last unless we prepare for years down the road. I said this last week. The Chiefs are smart enough to know that Kelce is not going to be here in the near future. Maybe 2 more years. After we get the three-peat, maybe he hangs it up after this year. He says, fuck it. I got the three-peat. My legacy's done. I'm out. And rides off into the sunset. That may happen after this year, after the three-peat. Or he says, fuck it, I want 1 more year. I'm still having fun. Either way, that clock is ticking. Where Kelce is no longer going to be on the team. The Chiefs know that. Mahomes knows that. Andy Reid knows that. Brett Veach knows that. So how do we prepare for that? We go and get the young guys that we need. Rashee Rice is already that guy. Okay, once Kelsey leaves, he's going to need help. He's going to be double and triple team. Or where are you going to get? Okay, well, they go out and get Hollywood Brown. Granted, he's only on a year deal. More than likely, they're going to bring him back because we didn't get to see what he had. And so let's take Hollywood out of the equation, though, right? And again, I explained the impact of him being injured last week, which is also contributing to the numbers. Well, let's take him out of the equation for a second. Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, right? It's why they go out and draft a guy like Worthy, because they need Rashee Rice in the next year is going to need help, or the next 2 years once Kelsey's gone. You got guys like Carson Steele. Now, you already have Isaiah Pacheco, right? And you got Perine, right? Veteran, third running back, whatever. You got other guys on the offensive line. Kingsley Suamataia, the rookie. They put him out there for the first couple of weeks. Fuck it, just start. Let's see what you got. They didn't have to. They could have put Wanye Morris there and kept him there, just kept it on lock. Granted, he's not the best, but he would have at least held it down long enough. He's good enough. He's serviceable. They could have went with what was safe, fed the routes through Travis Kelce and just dominate. And then, but here's the drawback to that. Yeah, let's say we have a dominant season this year through that formula. Kelce leaves next season, and now what? Now we're starting all over again, a brand new offense. Rashee Rice is now all of a sudden the main guy. Xavier Worthy now has to step up and be the number 2, the legitimate 2, without a rookie year to really kind of prepare. Now he's thrust into that. He hasn't gotten the targets and the catches. Who else? Watson may or may not be there. Hardman may or may not be there. Kingsley Suamataia is going to now, really have the pressure on him because he's not getting the snap. Again, all this, if now that those guys are going to be called upon, the rookies and the young guys are going to be called upon to be the guy all of a sudden. Whereas right now, we have enough veterans on the team, enough superstars on the team to say, you know what, we know we could win with the core, but we're going to get the young guys some snaps. We're going to get our young players in the thick of it right now. Let's get them legitimate reps. Let's get them legitimate experience right now with game time decisions, with game time ramifications. Let them learn it now while Travis Kelce is there. While we have, Rashee Rice and these other guys that are all there, and the offensive line and the veterans on the offensive line like a Wanye Morris. That's why they did it. That's why the offense seems a little weird. Now, granted, part of that is also the Hollywood Brown injury early on. Mahomes went into the season thinking he was going to have his trifecta of Rashee Rice, Hollywood, and Xavier. And none of that has happened. So, but again, part of that is why Travis Kelce numbers were down, because the focal point and the routes were not going through him. They were going through Rashee Rice. They want Rashee Rice to develop a rapport with Patrick Mahomes now, not next year. They don't want it to be a shock all of a sudden when Kelce is no longer available. So they're starting that now while Kelce is there, instead of waiting a whole year. Now that all of a sudden it's brand new and it's just thrust on the shoulders of a Rashee Rice, of an Xavier Worthy, maybe a Hollywood Brown if he comes back, which he will, right? So that is that was where the Chiefs were preparing. They knew if they went with what was expected, shut up. They could have easily dominated teams over the last week. Kelce's numbers would be up, and people are like, oh my God, it's the old Chiefs. But they're not thinking about just this season. They were thinking about years down the road, Mahomes' success down the road without Kelce. So that's what you were seeing. And if you watched those games, you would have noticed that a lot of the Kelce routes were Rashee Rice routes. He could have easily ran those routes, but because there was moments where Kelce's open. He's getting open. He's breaking the double teams and triple teams. Mahomes just didn't throw to him. He was trying to throw to Rashee Rice, or maybe even someone else, to get those guys ready and prepared and see what it's like running the offense through Rashee Rice. And it was working. It was working. There were some mishaps. Again, that left side with Kingsley getting beat all the time, and Wanye starting to get his feet under him, that was a working process. So that also affected a lot of the throws. and the effectiveness of it. So give me a second, guys. So, all of that, contributes to the low points and like the kind of slow offense or the struggles on offense that the Chiefs supposedly have, right? Part of it was by design. I guess all of it was by design, really. I mean, again, you purposely started a rookie at the left tackle position. You purposely decided to run your main routes through Travis Kelce or through through Rashee Rice rather than Travis Kelce. That was a purposeful decision. And because they had the firepower to fall back on what they knew works if things got really bad, which it didn't because we were still winning, right? Now, they didn't expect Kingsley to struggle the way he did, the way he has been. And so they made a change. They went back. They're like, you know what, Wanya, you need to step up. We're going to have you start. Let the rookie kind of take some of the pressure off of him, right? Unfortunately, circumstance changed that entire plan. Hollywood Brown goes down before the first game of the season. Then Pacheco. Now Rashee Rice. So, and I say all that. I say that to blame part of the reason of the Rashee Rice injury. That's why I put some of the blame on Reed and company, and not just Mahomes for throwing that really bad interception, because he's not trusting the offensive line, because they were doing kind of they were taking chances is really what. Also, going back to that, so you might say like, well, if why they have Kingsley Suamataia and they have Wanya Morris, and that was the guys they went in, and that, how's that going to be fixed? Again, when your offensive line is having struggles, most teams are simply going to bring in your tight ends, the backups, not just Kelce, but some of the other guys like Noah Gray and the other rookie tight end, and just have them block, have them chip block. That's their job. You bring in an extra, you could have your fullback and your running back on the field, and you have your fullback block instead of your running back, right? Or you just bring in Carson Steele just as a fullback, you just have him block, an extra blocker. That's how you add help to your left tackle if he's struggling. So there's ways to help your offensive line when they're struggling, when you just want to win. But the Chiefs were allowing Kingsley Suamataia and Wanya Morris to figure it out. They're like, nope, you got to figure it out. Get out there, stay with it. Stay with it, Rook. Keep your head up, learn. And that's what they want. Those reps, even though they're getting beat at times, those are important reps and mental battles and physical battles that are going to pay off immensely next year, the year after. Going through the fire now, while you have the ability to have others step up and help you out, is going to help those players in the long run, as opposed to having them do it a year down the road when they don't have the backup and they don't have other ways to help. So I blame that little bit of taking a chance and gambling with, we know we can do this a certain way, but we're going to do it. We're going to roll the dice and do one-on-ones and let the rookies kind of see how they can perform under fire, so to speak. And unfortunately, what that led to was a lot of Mahomes having happy feet, being a little, kind of not trusting the offensive line and bailing out or just getting rid of the ball maybe too quickly or when he wasn't supposed to. And then that, you see that stupid interception, which ultimately led to Rashee Rice's injury, right? So now they have no choice but to switch the offense to what it's going to be. And that's what you saw in the second half. This is my whole point about this rant is you saw it change in a game where they just stepped up. They stopped screwing her. They're like, all right, now we have no choice. We no longer can test the waters with allowing Wanye and Kingsley to test themselves one-on-one and run the offense through Rasheed Rice solely, and the focal point is him and his routes, and letting Kelsey be the decoy or whatever, just taking people with him. Now we have no choice. Rasheed Rice is out. We can't afford to lose another player. Mahomes can't be getting sacked now. Okay, they started chipping. They started adding blockers. The focus now shifted back to Travis Kelsey as the focal point and the main target on routes because there was no choice now. And then you saw also Xavier Worthy step up and be that guy. And so again, it's like it proves, holy fuck, they were doing this on purpose. They could have been doing that from day one. They could have, again, the offense could have always went through Travis Kelsey, and they would have just been running through teams. But it was that kind of concept is not going to help next year, the year after that, when we need these young players to be the guy, the man, right, or those men. Speaking of Xavier Worthy, let's move on to that subject now and that topic, Xavier Worthy. He's now going to be the man. Everybody calling him a gadget guy. Oh, he's just fast. No, he's fucking not. Go watch his college tape, bro. Go watch his fucking college tape and watch his routes. He knows how to run a route. He has a better route tree than Tyreek Hill did when he came out of college. They weren't putting too much pressure on him to be the guy because we have Rasheed Rice. We were supposed to have Hollywood Brown, right? Now, unfortunately, that's not a luxury that we have. He's going to have to be the man, and I think he is. You saw it in the second half of that game where he had no choice to step up. They were using him on crossing routes, and again, we hadn't seen that. Why wasn't he running across the field to catch those slants? Those are easy targets for him. He could beat a guy right off the line running a slant to the middle of the field. He'll hit it like that. You ain't catching his ass. But they weren't even using him like that. They were using Rasheed Rice like that. They were using Watson, other guys. They were bringing him in gradually. They don't want to unleash that weapon yet, but now they got no choice. So the focal point now moving forward is going to be Travis Kelsey. The routes are going to be designed for him again, and he's going to be getting open now. And then your number one wide receiver is going to be Xavier Worthy. And he's going to have to step up because he is now going to be the man. And I believe he will be. He played on a team where he was the other legit number two and had amazing numbers when Adonai Mitchell was on the same team. So you can't tell me that he's going to buckle under the pressure of being the legitimate number two guy behind another superstar. He's already experienced that with Adonai Mitchell in college, right? So here's going to be your receiving core. It's going to be Travis Kelsey, your number one receiver, as the tight end, obviously. You're going to have Xavier Worthy as your legit number one, now stepping up in place of, Rasheed Rice. Juju Smith-Schuster. Amazing pickup. That was a great pickup. And a funny, real quick note on that, I find it hilarious, kind of ironic. Juju Smith-Schuster helps us win that first of the back-to-back Super Bowls 2 years ago. Is the intermediate threat. He's that guy that takes the pressure off of Travis Kelsey. Teams have to account for him, so they can't just always double-team Kelsey. Helps us win that second Super Bowl. He goes and gets a bag at another team, and they're like, what are they going to do without Juju Smith-Schuster now? They go and draft Rasheed Rice. And all the talk last year was they're looking for Rasheed Rice to be that guy that Juju Smith-Schuster was. He needs to be that underneath, middle of the field wide receiver to help out Kelsey, and that's exactly what he did last year. He stepped up, wins a second Super Bowl, back-to-back. And here we go, ironically enough, Rasheed Rice goes down, but prior to that, when Hollywood went down and Pacheco went down, they go out and get Juju Smith-Schuster, who will now be the backup and literally have to step in for Rasheed Rice. So the guy that replaced Juju because he left to go get a bag comes back and now is the backup for the guy that replaced him. fucking comedy. So actually, let me kind of correct that comment then. Again, I still think Rasheed or Xavier's going to be that guy. He's gonna have to be that guy. He's going to have to be the guy that steps up. But the pressure is still not going to be 100% on him because we have Juju. Juju Smith-Schuster is a Rasheed Rice type of player. He is the middle of the field, the crossing route player. He's a older version and a little bit less talented than a Rasheed Rice. But he can be that guy. He was already that guy for us 2 years ago. That's not that long ago. So for him to step in of the role of a Rasheed Rice, slide him right in. Right, that's going to be perfect. He's going to take off that pressure off of Travis Kelce. You're still going to have Xavier Worthy taking the top off the field. You still have J. Watt, Justin Watson as a reliable safety blanket for Mahomes, and you still got Mecole Hardman. Now, the cool thing about this, and the unknown, is going to be whether or not they call up Justin Ross, which I hope they do from the practice squad. I hope that happens, and maybe this is his shot at emerging as a legit receiver in the NFL, especially for us. I think he will be a great target in the red zone. He's a big receiver. Hopefully they call him up, because honestly, fuck Sky Moore at this point. Bro, we've given you chance after chance after chance. It's time they need to move on from him or put his ass in the practice squad and call up fucking Ross. He had a wide open fucking catch and he dropped it again. Bro, I'm done with you. I'm done with you. So, and in the running back room, what did I say last week about Kareem fucking Hunt? Again, if you're seeing this out of order, I'm sorry, but just when I upload the other episode, go back and watch it. And you'll see my thoughts of Kareem Hunt. Exactly what I thought he was going to be. That was only his first fucking game back with the Chiefs. 68 yards on the ground, another 14 or 17 in the air. Too bad he didn't have a touchdown. But, I mean, P. Ryan, he should thank Hunt because that was all Hunt in that drive. And then they just cleaned it up with P. Ryan, gets the touchdown, but that was all Hunt. He's only going to get better. He is going to be he's going to be our starter running back next week. I guarantee it. I'm sorry, Carson Steele, you're a great young talent. You got a lot of potential, but you are a rook. We'll work on that. We'll work on your hands. You're going to be just fine, but you ain't ready to hold the load yet, and you weren't supposed to. So Kareem Hunt's going to hold it down. Carson and P. Ryan are going to be the backup. We will be fine for the next 4 weeks until Pacheco's back. And what a fucking trifecta that's going to be. Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt. Hopefully CH comes back, but if he doesn't, Carson Steele and P. Ryan, we're going to be fucking phenomenal right there, bro. That's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Those two pickups by Brett Veach, fucking bringing Juju back, and Kareem Hunt, fucking bravo, bro. Bravo. What a fucking steal. What a, just, again, chess when the rest of the league is playing fucking checkers, man. Phenomenal. I can't wait. It's going to be great. They're going to get it together. You saw that second half, and it's going to continue that way with the routes. Going through Kelce, Juju's also going to step up, take away some of the pressure off the middle of the field from Kels. And Xavier, you're going to see more bombs away plays with Xavier Worthy from Mahomes. It's going to be phenomenal. Mahomes needs to clean up his, again, and you're going to see more chipping. You're going to see more tight end blocking to help that left side because I think at this point they're like, we can't have these erratic plays where they panic and we lose players. So they're going to bring that help. They're going to bring that help until we can shore up that line and they get a little more confidence. And that's not going to happen until like week 7, 8, 9, where they're really going to start to get in sync with each other. But yeah, man, I mean, Kareem Hunt had a great game. Kelce, you saw what he can do when he's called upon to do. Has nothing to do with fucking age. That's a stupid fucking narrative. And again, I'm not going to go too far. I ranted about that last week. It's a hilarious episode. Go watch it. All right, moving on. All right, let's move on to the game itself. And then we're going to come back to Xavier Worthy. And because we talked about him in the first episode a little bit, but I want to highlight him because he is going to be the man. He's going to be the number one receiver at the number one option at receiver outside of Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, who knows? Mahomes might develop that rapport and trust with Juju again sooner because he's played with him, and maybe it switches. But for now, I believe that the option and uh, the plan is going to be to move forward with Xavier Worthy sooner than later. But we'll get to him in a second. Let's go to the game itself. Let's talk about the game a bit. Definitely not what I had envisioned and what I even predicted at the last episode. If you guys watched that, if it's up yet or not. Again, depending on when you're seeing this. If it's like Wednesday and you're watching this or any time in the future, then you should have, there's the other episodes up. But if you're watching it Tuesday night or Tuesday, because I'm going to have this episode up by Tuesday, then you're probably not watching the other one yet, but whatever. When you get a chance to watch that episode, go back. Oh, before I continue again, I'm fucking horrible at this. And when it comes to this part, like, subscribe, comment, do all that shit. I should definitely do that at the beginning of the episode. I'm horrible. I was doing it in the middle, but like, subscribe, do all the shit. Go back to last week's episode if you want to hear me rant about dumbass Mike Florio and Kelsey and his production and all that. I talk about all that stuff. But and I talk about my predictions for this week's game. I got something on my screen there. Yeah, I predicted that it was going to be a blowout. I thought the team was going to come out and just, especially with the injuries to the Chargers, I thought the Chiefs were going to come out and just manhandle them and just dominate. But again, we saw the weakness, so to speak, or at least the test, right? That's really what it was. It was a test. We saw them testing and practicing and testing out that offensive line. Let's see what Kingsley Suamati and Wanye Morris can do on their own. Really is what we had saw, right? Like one-on-ones and all that without chipping, without bringing in extra help from the tight ends or the running backs. And we saw the result of that. And now the time for experimentation is over. So, so now they're going to move forward. And I talked about that already. But the game itself, so it didn't happen the way I expected. I did not expect, obviously, Rashee Rice to get injured. Carson still has the jitters of a rookie. They'll work on that. They know what they see in him, and it's going to take some time to build confidence with him and teach him teach him to knock away some bad habits that he has, which is basically moving the ball when he's shifting the ball or whatever while he's about to get hit. They got to train that out of him. You take that out, he'll be fine. He runs as hard as you can ask any player to, so he's going to be fine. So it was self-inflicted wounds, the fumble, the interception by Mahomes, the miscommunication with dumbass Sky Moore. At least really that wasn't miscommunication. That was just Sky Moore fucking not catching shit. And then after the Worthy injury, you saw them switch. You saw them tighten up. They're like, all right, no more bullshit. The defense is fine. The defense is doing their fucking job. The defense is holding it down as they always do, as they should. Held the Chargers to 10 points. That's crazy. Chris Jones doing Chris Jones things. But that bomb by Mahomes to Xavier Worthy, just a thing of sheer beauty, man. That was poetry in motion, and there's going to be more of that to come. That was awesome to see. Once the injury to Rashee Rice happened, you saw Travis Kelce turn it on. They said, again, okay, enough with the experimentation. All the routes are going through Kelce. They started focusing on him. You saw a great slant route in the middle of the field, route by Xavier Worthy when they needed it. I think it was third and whatever it was. It was a must-have first down towards the end of the game to help, shut that game down and really put it away. And you saw that. You saw Worthy was there at the right place at the right time, caught it, was reliable. So again, no worries there. And then the Chiefs just, a 17 again. It was 17-10. The score should have been higher. It's funny. I had the 17 right. I thought the Chargers were going to score 17, and we were going to score something like 33 points. 37. I might have even actually my final score I think was like 13 for them. So, you know, I thought it was gonna be like 13 to 33 or something like that. You know, a touchdown and 2 field goals. I was close to their score. They only scored 10 points. The Chiefs score I was highly off. But again, that was weird, just a weird game. Them just being off. I don't expect that to continue. Kareem Hunt, exactly what I thought he would be, had a phenomenal game. You know, ran hard. Wait till they start using him out of the backfield again as a good, solid pass catcher. You know, P-Ryan had a good game and, you know, was solid running, got that end zone touchdown, red zone touchdown. So I think it was, again, I think we're going to be fine. With that said, let's go to the man and the reason why I think we're going to be fine. The quote unquote gadget guy, the quote unquote, he just runs fast, he's just a straight line runner. No, the fuck he's not. Okay, Xavier Worthy, who I believe is going to emerge sooner than expected because he has to, right? Which is awesome for us because when Rashid is ready to come back next year, Xavier's going to be that much better. So it's going to be a great 1-2 punch. I hope that they bring back Hollywood Brown. Because what's that going to look like? I have no idea. But Xavier Worthy, and the reason why he's going to step up and be that guy, and he's not just a speedster, he's not just a gadget guy. Watch his college tape, and you can see the routes. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to do you the favor, and we're going to watch some college tape from Xavier Worthy, and we're going to watch him, you know, burn some people on some, you know, some routes like he did in the Charger game. What you're also going to see is him running in the middle of the field. You know, you're going to see him run up the sideline, stop and come back and catch a great ball to turn around and make a defender miss. And you're going to see him take a house call on a short like screen pass. He's more than a gadget guy. He has routes. So let's take a look. And I don't know this person, but shout out to Just Bombs Productions. This is where I got this video from. I'll leave a link in the description below. You can check out his channel, like, subscribe to his channel, comment, all that stuff. But I took the video from them. I just looked up, you know, Xavier Worthy highlights, and so that's where this, you know, you want to watch the rest of his video. It's like a 3-minute video. We're only going to watch a handful of plays here. Well, let's check out Xavier Worthy with the Texas and watch him be just a gadget guy, right? Let's check it out.
Texas back in Bama territory. Ewers from the pocket. Now he'll loft one downfield. A ton of air running underneath it. Worthy's got it for a touchdown. The deep shot this offense has been seeking desperately. They strike from 44.
Play fake. Going for Worthy. He's got it. It's touchdown.
Hung up in the wind a little bit. Here's Worthy, makes the first man miss. Straight ahead past the 40. Kicker to beat. There he goes. Worthy making a house call on a punt return. Xavier Worthy.
Quick toss to Xavier Worthy. Worthy is still up. The Boilers, the sideline. He's tough. He's fast. He's Xavier Worthy. House call.
Makes one guy miss and then uses that speed and takes it all the way to the crib for 49 yards.
He has good field position to start this drive after a 22-yard punt. Ewers setting up, lobbing to the sideline, caught by Worthy, and he's free down the right sideline and into the end zone for the.
Now, if that doesn't get you excited to watch this kid be unleashed with Mahomes throwing him the ball, man, and Andy Reid developing plays specifically for him on a regular, not just 1 or 2 or 3 or, you know, 6 plays it for the whole game in the playbook. No, now they're going to be dialing it up specifically for him. The routes are going to be going through Travis Kelce and Xavier Worthy. Juju's going to be backup. Hardman's going to be backup. Watson's going to be backup, right? Hopefully we see Justin Ross also on that field. So that's going to be exciting to watch. The jet sweeps, the curl routes, the 3-step slant routes to the middle, crossing routes, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be exciting to watch him do his thing. He's more than a gadget guy. But speaking of the speed that you cannot teach, this is why, shut up, you fucking thing. This is why I'm really excited about Xavier Worthy, why I like this guy, why I like this kid. I talked about it in the episode 1 about, me watching her, hearing about him, starting to watch highlights and college tape, and then watching the NFL Combine to the draft, right? Let's go to that tape, and you'll see what I mean. So we're going to watch 2 clips here. We're going to watch both of his runs at the Combine, and it just shows his competitive nature. He gets the 4.2, what is on the screen, I think comes out as like a 4.24, I think, on the first run. And that wasn't accurate. I think it was a 4.22. His first run becomes official 4.22. And then his second run, the unofficial time, gets clocked in at 4.22, which at the time was the fastest time from John Ross. And they're like, he got it. He got the record. He tied potentially with John Ross. And then we find out about 15 minutes later, no, he broke that motherfucking record with the 4.21. So, but the fact that he had a 4.24, super fast in its own right, unofficial, and could have just said, screw it, I'm going home, that's fast enough. And he said, nope, I want the motherfucking record. He went out and got it. Let's take a look at that. Xavier Worthy at the NFL Combine breaking the 40-yard dash combine record for fastest motherfucking player. Let's take a look.
And obviously a lot of them grew up fast, and Gutekunst added some
couple tight ends too.
Tight ends too. And then look at what they look like this year. Look at Xavier Worthy.
He is flying.
Whoa, 4.25.
That looked different than everybody we watched.
Round of applause. Whoa.
Yeah, that startled me, Rich. When he ran, I got startled. I was like, whoa.
There goes that man.
All right, we got Rome Odunze up right here. And when I was talking to guys that were working out with him from Washington, they said one of the things for a big guy, he's got such quiet feet. Like, you'll stand away from him when he's running routes towards you, and you can just, it's so easy and so light when he runs. So I thought it'd be fun as he kind of runs the 40 here. If we just take your time, man. You're chasing a record. Don't rush this thing here.
An unofficial 4.25 in his first run, and he's going to run it again to try and get John Ross's 4.22. Here it goes. Oh!
Keep going. He might just keep running right out of the stadium.
The roar of the crowd.
That is awesome.
J.J. McCarthy and Roman Wilson greet him. A 4.22 unofficial. John Ross, wherever you are. Caleb Williams is there, and Stacey Dale's taken away.
Woo! I'm not going to talk. You go ahead.
How long's that?
That's right. Man, I think you need to talk for a second, Stacey.
Hold on. What a moment, Rich. I mean, he just had told me before he ran that. Let me talk so he can get a breath here. He was going to go for the record, and so he wasn't satisfied with the 4.25. So I said, "Are you doing it again?" He said, "Absolutely. I got to get the record." I said, "What's the record?" He said it was a 4.22. John Ross said it, and now, Mr. Worthy, it is yours.
Man, it's crazy. I watched it come out my whole life. As a kid, seeing John Ross run that, man, I never thought I'd be able to be on the stage and do that.
How did you do it? What have you been doing? We knew you were fast, but what were you doing to train for this moment?
Man, my trainer at Excel prepped me. They told me to just be patient. You'll peak at the right time. Time's now, so it all came at the right time.
How about your split? Like, what was? Watch the B-roll down here on the monitor.
Here you go.
Take us through this. Can we roll it back one more time, guys?
Sure.
Here you go. Take us through it.
What was my 10-yard split?
We don't. What's the 10-yard
You
split?
got the 10-yard split.
Pop
for
it in
him?
my ear if you can. But that was tremendous.
Man, really, I just been working on my start a lot. My start's kind of been my flaw to my 40. Coach Nick, he got it down for me, and I just took over from there.
149 10-yard split.
Yeah, what was the back end?
Man, I can't give you that much information. Come on. How about the get off though, the jump? Like, how did you go from a 4.25 to better that? Because we thought you couldn't top the first.
Right. I feel like the first one I would have hit on the first one, but the sent back kind of got me a little first time jitters. So okay. I feel like once I settled in, I could do it.
Lastly, what message does this send about you at Xavier?
If you feel like you could do it, just do it. As you can see, I ran the first one 4.25, could have stopped and just set it down for the rest of the day. But I really just wanted to go get that record for myself.
You got it. Go on with the rest of the drills, bud.
From Fresno, California to Austin, Texas, and now into the record books at the moment, unofficially a neighbor of John Ross, and maybe officially, you're looking at the fastest man in the history of the Combine. Xavier Worthy takes us to break. What a moment here on NFL Network.
You know what's great about those clips? When he breaks the record and he sees it, because there was a screen, or the big screen, like in front of where the 40-yard dash is. So as they're running, they can look up that way and they can see like the unofficial times. So when he ran and he looked up and saw that it said 4.22, that's why he knew he broke it, and he kept running. The excitement that he ran all the way around and was just celebrating with the crowd and the other athletes that were there. It was phenomenal. It was great to watch. It shows his excitement for the game, his love for the game, and his competitive nature. That's a champion, folks. That is championship swagger. To quote my dog, the honey badger, freaking Jesus Christ, I forget what the fuck is his name? Tyrann Mathieu. My bad, I'm drawing a blank. To quote my dog, Tyrann Mathieu, that's championship swagger, homie. But cool to watch. It's great clips, to watch him want to break that record, want to compete, and then go out and do it, and then just be so excited about it. That's what we have in Xavier Worthy. And the fact that, unfortunately, because of the injuries, we're going to speed up his process in a way. Sucks because it sucks in the sense that that it's happening this way, but it's also awesome and exciting that we're getting that guy to be unleashed on the NFL. Look out. Everybody thinks that the Chiefs, oh my God, what are they going to do? They're done. What? Are you kidding me? This is our roster, which again, I said it earlier. Brett Veach is a fucking beast. The guy is a genius. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to prepare. This is your roster for the Chiefs, folks. You got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, obviously. Xavier Worthy, the fastest runner, the fastest wide receiver in the NFL, hands down. It's him and Tyreek Hill. All right? And he's probably faster. You have Juju Smith-Schuster, McCole Hardman, Justin Watson, right, as your backup players. Kareem Hunt as your starting running back with Carson Steele and P. Ryan as your running back backing him up. So, and it's funny, if you've seen the clip by, and I might even, let's play that now. I'll play the clip by my homie, everyone's favorite sports analyst and commentator for the Chiefs, Nick Wright, talking about why this three-peat run is going to be historic and will cement Patrick Mahomes as the greatest of all time. And he's joking about the way he talks about our players, but let's take a look at that clip and I'll come back to finish my point.
The whole. Here's what we know. Without their number one receiver, without their number two receiver, without their number one running back, their left tackle's been benched, their tight end, Wilds put him on watch, and Todd McShay said, out of shape, doesn't even care about football anymore. So, here's the depth chart right now. The running back depth chart is a guy who the Cleveland Browns, who are terrible, cut. A guy who the Denver Broncos, who are terrible, cut. An undrafted free agent whose own family was like not making the league. That's the running back room. The wide receiver room is now a rookie, skinnier than me.
Yeah.
A guy, the New York Jets, who are terrible, cut. A guy, the New England Patriots, who are terrible, cut. And a guy who's 28 years old who went to Penn who brew mocks because of that. So if those are the weapons
psychology
that Patrick Mahomes has to work with, and they end up pulling off the first three-peat ever in that context, then this is banner number 2.
Oh, wow.
It's the fastest GOAT debate ever. Because if under these circumstances, with this team, with a washed-watch tight end, with nothing but undrafted and cut players and a 160-pound rookie wide receiver, they become the first team ever to win 3 straight Super Bowls,
impressive.
Then that will be conventional wisdom. So do I think they're in trouble? No, I don't.
So like he said, jokingly, with backup guys, rookies, and castaways, Mahomes is going to go on to win the Super Bowl again for a third time in a row and the first time in NFL history. It's fun and he's joking, but the reality is you have the fastest wide receiver in the NFL. Granted, he's a rookie, but he's still the fastest player who is better prepared than Tyreek Hill was when he came out of college as your number one wide receiver. You still have Travis Kelce. You brought back Juju Smith-Schuster, who was the middle of the field, crosser route, short routes underneath, wide receiver 2 years ago in the first Super Bowl to the three-peat. You bring him back. You bring back the leading wide receiver in his rookie year as a running back, the leading rusher, not wide receiver, leading rusher as a rookie in Kareem Hunt. You bring him back to shore up and hold down the fort in the running back room until Isaiah Pacheco comes back in the next 4 to 6 weeks. At this point, I believe we're in 4 weeks now because he's been out for 2. So in 6 more weeks, you got Kareem Hunt. You got Carson Steele, a great young rookie who needs a little more time to marinate. And P. Ryan, a veteran, solid veteran, holding it down. You got McCole Hardman, 4.33 speed. You got Justin Watson, also a speedster, great, reliable hands and a security blanket for Mahomes, who can also be a deep threat. And hopefully, Justin Ross called up from the practice squad. And then in the next 4 weeks, you're going to have the 1-2 punch of Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco as your starter again. And by playoffs, Hollywood Brown is back. Are you kidding me? But just what we got right now. More. McCole and J. Watt holding it down with Kareem Hunt and Carson Steele and P. Ryan holding it down the running back room. That is more than enough offensive firepower with the backups. So we got, Justin Ross, hopefully, that other, I didn't even mention Noah Gray as, again, backups, role players, right? Red zone threats. Ross will be that red zone threat if they call him up. And possibly, maybe, who knows? Maybe they go out and get Amari Cooper. That's what we're talking about that. About maybe Amari Cooper is that guy that free agent that they're going to call up to really. I don't think they will, though. I don't think we need it. Now, if we get another injury, possibly, but I don't think we need it. So I'm excited. Unless the trifecta goes down with injury, in Mahomes, Chris Jones, or Kelsey, then we got a little bit of something to worry about. But as long as we got those three guys on the field, we ain't got shit to worry about, and we're going to be just fine. It is exciting. It is historic. It's the run to the three-peat, and they can't do shit to stop us or this hype train. They can take away our players. We can suffer injuries. They can bitch about Travis Kelce's age and the referees and Taylor Swift and whatever the fuck else they want to try to bitch about. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs are the team to beat. We are the defending back-to-back Super Bowl champions, soon to be the three-peat champions. And you want to know why? It's because it's going to get handled when it gets handled.
It'll get handled when it gets handled.